Hello everyone, and welcome back to Survivor Talks with Mike. Today we'll be doing something entirely different. After every 3 seasons I cover in my retrospective, I'm going to do an all-star season compiled of the 3 previous seasons. So I'll make up a tribe of 6 players from each of those seasons, and then put them together in a simulation in Brant Steele Survivor Simulation. So today we'll be covering Borneo through Africa for our All-Star seasons. I had to come up with who would be the All-Star representatives from each, so I decided the winner of each season would automatically be in, and then I also wanted to balance male and female players, and also try to have some representation from each tribe at least. So let's go into who I picked. So for Borneo, I went with Colleen, Kelly, and Sue for our female representatives, and then Jervis, Rich, and Rudy as the males. I at first had Greg in there instead of Jervis, but I was looking at the entire cast and it was entirely white, so I decided to add some diversity with Jervis there. Otherwise, I think they were all pretty straightforward ones. Sean could have also been in there, I guess, and maybe Jenna, but I think these are probably the best choices to have for Borneo. Australia was a little bit harder to pick. I went with Colby and Tina and Jerry as being the obvious ones. And then I wanted to have some representation from the Kucha tribe as well. So Elizabeth, I felt, was a pretty obvious one. And then I took Roger, her partner. And then the last one was the toughest to choose. I went with Scoopin. I could have easily also gone back to Ogakor with Keith, or I could have gone with Jeff as well, and maybe Nick, but I don't really feel like he's an all-star representative for Australia. He'd be more so if I wanted the diversity, as well as Alicia could have gone in instead of maybe Jerry, but I couldn't push out Jerry for anyone. Moving on to Africa, of course, Ethan the winner, and I had to go with his whole alliance, Lex and Tom being there. For the women, I went with Kim and T-Bird and Kelly, as I felt they were the most strong representatives for the women. Lindsay could have been there, or Kim Powers as well, but obviously Kim Johnson made the finals. T-Bird was the biggest obstacle for the Boran alliance, and Kelly was such a big part of that early merge that it had to be them. The only other person who I think could have made a case for was Clarence, again for representation, and also he was so big in the pre-merge. Same with, I guess, Silas, and then like Brandon and Frank, but I feel like if you're going to have Brandon, you need Frank, and I couldn't take out 2 guys to have both of them. So let's get into the simulation. So the first immunity challenge, Quest for Fire. This the first one in almost every season. I think all 3 of these seasons used it as their first immunity challenge. And both Borneo and Australia win immunity, so Africa is going to Tribal Council. Kelly and Rudy are finding something in common. They're reminiscing on their first time playing. Kelly and Richard bond slightly. There's no rivalry between them from their last time. Kelly has a major meltdown and almost quits the game, but decides to stay. What a roller coaster for Kelly this first day is, or first set of days. And Sue rests at camp to restore her energy. Nothing happens in the Australia tribe, and Africa, T-Bird is impressing the rest of the team. So it's time to vote. We already see that Ethan got the first vote, but I'm gonna say they take out Ethan because he won the last time. Kim won 2 votes. Ethan, 2 votes. Kim, and Kim is voted out as the first person to leave. Huh. Interesting. Ethan, Kelly, and Lex and Big Tom all voted against Kim. So it's the old Baran working together to take out Kim, who was also Baran. No one wants to make alliances. So the reward challenge, Stairway to the Stars, Africa wins. They win tarp and blankets. If they give away their 2 blankets, they get flint, a pot, and a clue to the first 3 keys to their rice box. The catch is that the other 2 tribes will also get it. They exchange the blankets. All 3 tribes get a clue to the first of 3 keys to their rice box, so they don't really even get a reward. So the next immunity challenge is float your boat, and Borneo and Africa win, so that means Australia is going to their first tribal council. At Borneo, we have our first alliance. Rich, Rudy, and Kelly are back in an alliance together again. No Sue this time, though. Still nothing from Australia. And in Africa, T-Bird is continuing to impress the rest of the team. And we have their first alliance, Ethan, Kelly, and T-Bird. All right, that's a little different for them. So at the Australia Tribal Council, Elizabeth gets the first vote, then Jerry, then Elizabeth, then Jerry. Jerry's up 3-2, Jerry up 4-2, so Jerry is the first one out. I guess they didn't want to have to put up with her for the whole season again this time. And we see that the only people that voted together were actually Jerry and Tina. That's an interesting pairing, as they didn't want to work together in the other seasons. So at the reward challenge, they get to build their homes or their shelters. Africa wins, and so does Australia. So I guess Borneo doesn't have that good of a shelter. And then at the immunity challenge, Australia and Borneo win again, so that means Africa's going to their second tribal council. Rich and Sue are fighting, and Jervis and Sue are bonding. See if they make an alliance going forward. Michael and Tina bond slightly, and Michael and Roger have a major fight. That's an interesting one. I feel like Roger would be impossible to get into a fight with. And nothing's happening with Africa, so let's see who they vote out. We got 1 vote Lex, 1 vote Tom, 2 votes Tom, 3 votes Tom, and Tom is voted out. Second person from Africa voted out. So at the reward challenge, Africa wins. They seem to be good at the reward challenges, but not so much in the immunity ones so far. So they get toiletries. And Australia also wins. And then at the immunity challenge, Borneo wins and Africa wins another immunity, so that means that Australia will be down to 4 as well. So at the Borneo tribe, Colleen and Kelly have a minor disagreement. That's too bad for them. They were pretty good friends before. This alliance is still going, and Sue is resting to restore her energy. All right. Still nothing from Australia. And T-Bird's having a meltdown. After she worked too hard in the start, and now she feels like no one else is putting in the same effort. So here's the Australia Tribal Council. 1 vote Scoopin, 1 vote Elizabeth, 2 votes Elizabeth, 2 votes Scoopin, and the 4th person voted out is Scoopin. Well, good riddance to him. He was probably being too bossy around camp and picking fights with Roger. So now Borneo has a second alliance with Kelly, Rudy, and Susan. Oh no, that was the one that was already. Oh no, that's the old one. Or that's the new one. Okay. Got a little mixed up there because they're mostly the same. It's all the Tagi 4 back together in different alliances. That's still theirs. So at the reward challenge, Africa once again wins a reward, and Australia wins the other award. So that means, despite not losing a single member, the Borneo tribe will be dissolved into the other 2 tribes. That's interesting. So Africa takes Colleen, Australia takes Kelly, Africa takes Rudy, Australia takes Sue, Africa takes Jervis, and Australia takes Rich. So here's the new breakdowns. So you still got that Kelly, Sue, and Rich alliance together. Or no, they had Rudy, not Sue, together, along with the Australia 4. And then Africa that has Colleen, Jervis, and Rudy, which Rudy wasn't in an alliance with either of them. And Jervis and Colleen have history together. They were on Pagon together in Borneo, so maybe they'll work together. And for the immunity, Africa wins with their new members, so that means Australia is going to Tribal Council. Colby and Elizabeth bond strongly, and Elizabeth and Tina bond strongly. And we have a new alliance finally in the Australia camp with Colby and Elizabeth is resting. And Kelly is impressing the Africa tribe. So at the Australia Tribal Council, Tina gets a vote, then Sue, and Sue's up 2-1, then Tina, and Tina gets another, and Sue ties it up. One vote left is for Tina. They didn't want the winner to win again, so they voted her out, I guess. Did it go straight down tribal lines mostly? Looks like it, yeah. Except Roger turned against Tina. At the reward challenge, Africa wins once again. They get shish kebabs and other items in a basket. And then they go on to win immunity as well. So Australia is going back to Tribal Council. Roger and Sue find something in common. Jervis and Lex bond strongly. And Rudy is impressing the rest of the team. I mean, he's still out there. That's impressive on its own. So at the Tribal Council for Australia, Roger receives 2 votes, then Elizabeth, then another for Roger, then Elizabeth, and then Roger is voted out. So now Australia actually wins immunity, and they kidnap Lex, who will be safe from Tribal Council. Lex and Richard have a small fight while he's visiting the Australia camp. And then Kelly and Rudy have a small fight back at the Africa camp. But Ethan and Rudy bond together. It's time for them to vote. 1 vote Rudy, 1 vote Colleen, another vote Colleen, another vote Colleen. Looks like Colleen's out. And Africa wins their reward, and they win any 3 items from the losing tribe's camp. And then they go on to win immunity as well. So Australia is going to Tribal Council once again. At the Africa tribe, Jervis and T-Bird have a minor disagreement, and Kelly is impressing the rest of the team. And they have a new alliance with Kelly, T-Bird, and Jervis. So Jervis and T-Bird were able to put aside their disagreement and create an alliance together. So at the Australia Tribal Council, we get 1 vote Rich, 1 vote Elizabeth, 2 votes Rich, 2 votes Elizabeth, 3 votes for Elizabeth, so she's out. So just the Colby and Elizabeth alliance voted together against Rich, and then everyone else was against Elizabeth, I guess. New tribes are going to be assigned, so we get a swap here. So let's see. Have they done it yet? Nope. Oh yeah, they did. I missed that. So let's see what alliances are left over. We got the Borneo alliance is back together with Rudy rejoining Rich and Kelly, as well as rejoining Sue and Kelly. And the Africa alliance was broken up with Jervis losing Kelly and T-Bird. And then in Africa, just the opposite of that. Ethan, Kelly, and T-Bird are still together, and then they lost Jervis. So for the immunity challenge, the Africa tribe wins. So that means Australia is going to Tribal Council. Colby and Lex are bonding slightly, and Ethan and Lex have a minor disagreement. Lex wasn't happy that Ethan won last time, felt he deserved to win. So at Australia, they got their Tribal Council 1 vote Jervis, 2 votes Jervis, 1 vote Sue, 3 votes Jervis, so Jervis is out. And Lex wins reward. He wins a deep sea fishing trip. He must share the reward with one player from each tribe, so he takes Sue and T-Bird with him. Then we get the merge into the Moto Baratana tribe. I named it after the merged tribes from the previous 3 seasons. At the immunity challenge, Rich and Kelly each win immunity. Back at their camp, Ethan and Kelly have a minor disagreement, and Ethan and the other Kelly bond strongly. So at Tribal Council, you can't vote for Rich or Kelly. Kelly Wigglesworth gets a vote. T-Bird gets a vote. T-Bird gets 2 votes. Wigglesworth gets 2 and then 3 votes. T-Bird's tied up. 4 votes for Kelly, 3 for T-Bird, 4 for T-Bird, and T-Bird is voted out 5-4. See how the votes broke down. So looks like it went to all the old Africa voted for Kelly, I believe, and then all the old Borneo and Australia voted for T-Bird. So we still got those Borneo alliances going strong, and the Africa alliance is just down to Ethan and Kelly Goldsmith, but they're still holding tight. At the reward challenge, Group 1, which consists of Kelly Goldsmith, Lex, Rudy, and Sue, win. They win rain parkas, letters from home, and can compete for individual immunity. Oh. At individual immunity, Sue wins. She also wins a full video from home. Sue can give it up so everyone receives their letters, and she gives up the video to win favor from everyone else. Sue is impressing the rest of the team. Kelly and Rich are bonding strongly. Colby and Lex have a minor disagreement. And we get a new alliance, which is the Africa Alliance, along with Colby and Rich. And Colby is resting to restore his energy. At their tribal council, Sue is immune. Get 1 vote Lex, 1 vote Kelly, 2 votes Lex, 1 vote the other Kelly, Kelly Goldsmith. Wigglesworth gets her 2nd vote. Kelly Goldsmith gets her 2nd vote. 3rd vote for Kelly Goldsmith. So the 11th person voted out is Kelly Goldsmith. At the reward challenge, Lex wins. He wins an overnight spa visit and swimsuits from luggage. And then he goes on to win immunity. At the camp, Colby and Ethan bond strongly. Kelly and Rudy have a minor disagreement. Kelly is completely worn out, but is not giving up. So at Tribal Council, Lex is immune. Let's see who's the next one out. 1 vote Colby, 1 vote Wigglesworth, 1 vote Sue, 1 vote Rich, 2 votes Colby, 2 votes Sue, 3 votes Colby, so Colby is out. That was quite the vote. It's like a Borneo vote. At the reward challenge, Ethan wins, and he shares his reward with Rich. They win an overnight stay with a loved one, and then he goes on to win immunity. Rich and Rudy find something in common. It's rare for them to find something in common, but they're friends nevertheless. And then this alliance dissolves. At Tribal Council, I think Lex is pretty vulnerable here. 1 vote Lex, 2 votes Lex, 1 vote Sue, 3 votes Lex, 2 votes Sue, 4 votes Lex. Lex is voted out. So we're getting down to the Tagi Alliance and Ethan. Still got that Borneo Alliance going strong. Kelly wins the reward challenge. She shares her reward with Rich. They win the GM Chevrolet Colorado truck. And then Rich goes on to win immunity. So Ethan might be looking pretty vulnerable now at Tribal Council. 1 vote Ethan, 2 votes Ethan, 1 vote Kelly, 3 votes Ethan, and Ethan's out. So we're just back down to the Toggy 4. It could be the same as Borneo. Who knows? Maybe Rich will win again. Rich wins immunity, so he's going to the final 3. Sue's impressing the rest of the team. At the Tribal Council, 1 vote Rudy, 2 votes Rudy, 1 vote Sue, 2 votes Sue. It's a tie. First vote Sue, second vote Rudy. So they have a fire making challenge, and Sue loses. So much like last time, we're down to a final 3 of Rich, Kelly, and Rudy. See if we get the same final 2. Oh, nope, it's going to be different this time. Rudy wins immunity. Redeems himself from his mistake in the first season. At Tribal Council, Rudy votes out Rich. He says it's his turn to win. So now we go to our final Tribal Council. They'll face the jurors, and I have to think Rudy's going to win this. That's who I'd say. 1 vote Kelly, 1 vote Rudy, 2 votes Rudy, 3 votes Rudy, 4 votes Rudy. The vote count was 6-1 for Rudy. Congratulations to Rudy, he's the winner. That's the way I'd like to see it. Everyone except for Sue voted for Rudy. And Colleen wins fan favorite. Here's our placements. I'd forgotten Kim Johnson was even voted out first by now. Here are our statistics. Lex won the most, though Rich won the most immunity challenges. Ethan was named most strategic, with Sue and Kelly Wigglesworth right behind him. And Sue received the most votes against. Well, that's all for this one. I hope this was interesting, and if you want to see my coverage of Survivor Marquesas, which is coming up next, subscribe, and if you enjoyed this video, hit like.